We got an svl90 we're going to service today. A customer went ahead and power washed this thing off for me and cleaned it up real good, which I appreciate very much. It just helps when you're trying to work on something if it's not covered in dirt and mud. So we're gonna start this baby up here. Alright. Basically the same as a 75 except bigger. I think this machine's pretty cool. I've seen it work and do some incredible stuff. It's very impressive. This particular machine though, we had some problems with when he got it used. This muffler was all coming apart, damaged. The bracket was broken, and the outlet on the muffler was broken real bad and letting a lot of hot exhaust gas get all over this wiring harness. And I don't know if you can see, but it's just a lot of wire looms melted. I'm not sure if this thing caught on fire or what, but a lot of these wires and the wire loom is completely melted. You can see that there. So took this off and welded the muffler back up, put that back on. Everything was covered in soot, so we really had to clean everything off because we were having some serious problems with the auxiliary hydraulics. And you can see, but up past this air filter there, those are your auxiliaries, the solenoids and the control for that, your spools and whatnot for your auxiliaries. And we put a grapple on this thing and it was just slamming the jaws up and down. I've never seen anything so crazy, but it turned out I went through and tested every single wire. We spent a good 4 or 5 hours testing this harness, and every wire was good. We were afraid that we had some melted wires somewhere around here, and we didn't really want to put a wiring harness on it, but that ended up not being the direction that we went to fix it. It was actually replacing the solenoids and the valves for the auxiliary, and that fixed the problem with the auxiliary hydraulics. And then I had to initialize them, which is a procedure maybe I can cover it in another video, but so that's just a little history on this machine. It's got a new motor in it, apparently. This motor has been replaced. The previous company that had this, I'm not sure if they tipped the machine over and the motor was sucking oil and blew up or what, but this motor apparently has been replaced at some point. And I'm not sure, I think this machine's got 3,000 hours on it or something. I don't know if the hour meter is correct in the cab. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and pull this cooler out just to show you I think that's the proper way to do it. And pull this cooler out, take a good look at these belts. for them. Then we're going to do the final drive oil, engine oil, filter, and the fuel filters. And I think that's all we want to do, and then maybe an air filter. And then we got a couple pins up here. I believe it was these pins on this side. We're not taking grease. We'll have to try them. Like I said, they were not taking grease. And I've replaced all of the bushings, pins, and seals in all of these down here. So let's see what that's all about. Alright, down here, I ended up taking this whole pan out of my way because I don't know if you can tell, but it's bent. I think I dented real bad. So that little door there, it's bent so bad you can't really get the socket on there. So I just took the whole thing and just swung it out of the way. I'll clean some of that mud out of there. And then the seam for this door here for the filter and letting that drain out. Take this loose. Okay. When these won't cooperate and pull out, they're supposed to pull out a little bit like that and then tilt back. It's because there's a lot of mud shoved right up in there. This is like a hook. So you gotta clean that mud out. I had one really bad the other day that you couldn't even budge this thing. And then the other thing is just pull your hose out from here, and it'll pull forward. So I'm just trying to get this mud worked out of here and then get it out so I can get that filter off easy and check my belts real good. Alright, here's what it looks like when it pulled out the whole way. Yeah, I'm wondering if this machine caught on fire. This is a working man's machine right here. This thing's had the crap kicked out of it. This cab got banged up real bad. Got run in through a parking garage on a trailer. And it twisted the whole cab. It hit like a support beam, like a parking garage. It just bent this whole cage. Look how bent that thing is. Really needs a new cab. But it's a very strong machine, very tough. Alright, so with all this room we got now, try to get this filter off here. I need a wrench. Then we'll do my fuel filter. And I guess before I start taking all this off, I'll make sure I got the right parts here. My belt, air conditioning belt. Look at these brackets real good, because a lot of times they'll crack, especially on the Kubota mini excavators. Their air conditioning brackets will crack and rattle around real bad. So that's okay. Get your alternator belt down there. That looks pretty good. Probably leave that alone. Yeah, alright. Alright, there's oil. If you ever have to bleed air out of these, there's your lift pump there. Just turn the key on, and I normally crack this line here. This is your return from your injectors, your overflow. And you know, if it's real bad, you could crack. This is fuel filtered out to the motor, to your pump. So you can check that if you got a bunch of air in there. I always pre-fill my filters. Just make sure everything's clean and you'll be fine. Just in case you ever get into a bind, you can always just turn the key on and let it cycle and prime itself out. And if it's real bad, you can just crack those lines and get some air out. Alright, on the separator, even if you don't get that filter, this green, I always take this cover off. Just look at the crap these things catch. And that's just the bottom of your spring. So you gotta clean that out. And then, as normal, you get a bunch of shit in there. So just take it off and clean it, even if you don't get the filter. It's good to just get this junk out of the system. Get our secondary off here. Alright, bleed these things. Let's turn the key on. Hear that, the lift pump running there. This here is running. It's filling this up because I had that completely drained. I didn't pre-fill that, I just screw back on and let the lift pump fill it back up. And I crack this line here, overflow. Don't forget to put oil in the motor. In case anybody was wondering, these two hoses here, these drains, the one on the right here is coolant, and the drain on the left is fuel. Just a quick access to drain. So that's pretty nice. Always check the hose coming off your air filter to your turbo. I had a stump grinder with a Cummins motor on it, and the intake pipe had gotten a hole rubbed through it from the it was close to the exhaust. I rubbed the hole right through the pipe, and I don't know how long it had been running like that, but the turbo had dirt all inside it, in the housing, you could see it. And I can't believe it didn't blow it up. But always check this pipe and give everything a little look over, you know. If you can keep something stupid that you find from keeping the guy down for a week or a day or whatever, you know, that's what you're looking for when you're trying to work on one of these and keep it running. So get those filters done and move around to the front here. Alright, see here we're missing that. There's a bolt that's supposed to go through that to hold that pin in place. It broke off something. So the easiest thing to do is just, I guess, run this machine there a little more on the front there, because it's close to going through. And then these grease fittings were not taking any grease. Let's see what's going on here. It's got a little too much play in it. It's tight. Alright, we're just going to try to change these grease fittings out, because I can't get anything to take grease here. I even tried this tool I bought here a while back. I have not had any luck with this thing. Not one grease fitting or joint has been able to take grease after using this. It's just, maybe I don't know how to use it right, but whatever. So I'm going to put new fittings in this. Alright, so that hole is just plugged up with crap. We gotta fix that. Gotta do the same thing on the bottom pin there. I'll take it now. Yep, look at that. Alright, I gotta do that bottom one too. Not gonna be fun. Pull that bolt out that I just put in there. Try to clean this thing up. Alright, as you can see, I just tapped this bottom one out just enough to get the grease out of that pin there. You can see where it's coming out at right there. I'm gonna slam that back in, spray some of this PV plaster all over there. It's full of mud, dirt. Alright, got it to take grease, got it back together. Basically the same as a 75, but it's a little bigger. There are a few differences here. You want to get to the hydraulic oil drain for the tank. It's right there. Take that plate off. There's a hose. Take that plug out of that hose. You can drain the hydraulic oil right there. You want to do the filter without making a mess. There's a hose under that thing. Take it off, drain it out. And the other question was the hydraulic screens in the tank. They unscrew. So it's counterclockwise. Take them off. And there's locks on the return filter. 2 bolts. I think there might be 10mm bolts that hold a lock down in the base of that hydraulic tank. Just remove that, and then you can unscrew it by hand, pull it out of there, and put it back together. you get the fluid out of the tank, it's a little easier to see, of course. So I hope that might answer some questions that people had. And really, compared to most machines I've worked on, the Kubotas are probably one of the best and easiest. A lot of people have these in my area here, and I really like them.